Hello to Facebook and YouTube. I'm here with Colby Newman, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service, because here in Portland, I don't know if you looked outside recently. It's a little cold. We've got some snow that I would say Portland's not generally used to. How is it over where you are? Equally as snowy, cold?
It is. We're here in Park Rose, and yeah, it's very snowy and cold here, just like
Yep.
most of the metro.
Yeah, for sure. Um, and so first things first, kind of early yesterday, as I'm sure you know, we were getting reports that we were looking at maybe an inch in the metro area. Things progressed to what we have now. Can you kind of tell us like when things started to change and what that looks like on your end as somebody who does forecasting?
Right. So yeah, uh, yesterday morning we started actually getting some snowfall reports of sticking snow in northern Clark County, up by Battleground and Hawkinson, and up there. And then we started getting some sticking snow midday over by Troutdale, and so the very eastern part of the metro. And that's when we could also see there were one or two models that sort of came in overnight and started suggesting a more snowy scenario for Portland. And that's when we started shifting our forecast from, maybe an inch of snow to 1 to 4. And then it became clear, oh, this is going to be bigger than that. And so we ended up ramping it up even more as we sort of got into the meat of it. But yeah, we saw a pretty widespread across sort of the main I-84 US 26 corridor. We had pretty widespread amounts of at least 4 to 8 inches, and there were some areas like here in Northeast Portland where we got upwards of over 10 inches.
And that is quite a bit for Portland. I think PDX said it was like the snowiest day recorded since 1943, which was some time ago.
Yeah, some time ago. So it was the second snowiest calendar day that we've experienced here at the Portland airport since 19. Yeah, record started in 1940. So
Wow,
yeah,
incredible. And, as we're looking forward, and again, meteorology is both a science and an art. From my perspective as a layperson, just watching meteorologists do what they do, it's ever changing and seems very
right.
difficult if you ask me. But looking forward, there's a rumor there may be some snow Saturday night. Is that possible? And if it is, what we have right now on the ground, is that going to be melted by then?
Well, yeah. So snow is yeah, it's definitely possible Saturday night. Right now, I would say even that it's going to probably start off as snow is maybe even more likely to start off as snow than rain.
Mhm.
But the good news with that storm system is we will see temperatures moderating during that. So even if we do get some snow to start, we should see it transition more over to at least a rain snow mix and see temperatures warm up above freezing and allow snow to melt that we have right now. And anything that falls Saturday night to then start melting Sunday. But we're going to stay cold today. There is a little bit of melting going on right now, but temperatures are actually below freezing right now at the airport. So as soon as the sun angle goes just a little bit lower, we're going to see all those paved surfaces that we're trying to melt today to then freeze back over, and we're going to see a lot of ice tonight and temperatures down into the teens. And then tomorrow should be a little bit warmer than today. Uh, so we should see a little bit more melting, but not enough to get rid of all the snow. We're going to still be locked, I think, in the snow and ice through at least Friday night, and Saturday we should warm up closer to 40. And I think that will help get things melting more than what we're going to see either today or tomorrow. But even then, we've got enough snow on the ground across most of the metro that you're probably not going to lose the snow in your yard, at least until, yeah, sometime early next week, probably. So
Yeah. So stay
yeah.
bundled up, and that means maybe probably icy conditions for the commute tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah, tomorrow morning I don't think is going to be a huge improvement over anything you're seeing today. There'll probably be a few stretches of road that really do melt out today, but I think the vast majority of roads out there not fully melting out today. At least that got along the 84-26 corridor where we got the most snow. Yeah, we're going to just see whatever water slush is out there right now is going to freeze up very quickly this evening. And there's going to be a lot of ice out there. And people should plan on tomorrow morning being very slick and maybe even more slick than it was this morning.
Yeah, that was kind of a discussion that we were all having in the office. Obviously, as some people do commute and whether they're going to work from home or whatever. I'm
Right.
just going to reintroduce you. We've got quite a few people watching, especially on Facebook. This is Colby Newman. He's a meteorologist with the National Weather Service. We're talking about the thing everyone's talking about right now, which is the snow that's outside your window. So here we
Sure.
go. To recap, there's snow. There's a lot of it. Tomorrow morning is still going to be slick and icy. We're probably looking for a couple days for this snow to remain. Do how are the so it's in some parts of the metro. It was here earlier. I'm out in Milwaukee. It was very windy. How is the wind affecting the slick roads? Is that causing sort of midday ice? Do we need to be concerned about the wind picking up?
Right. The wind is nearing its peak. So a lot of the wind that we have now, this is sort of the extent of the wind right now, which is definitely into tonight will make wind chills. It'll make it feel cold, even though the temperatures might be in the 20s. It's going to end up feeling like it's in the teens or single digits even. So definitely bundle up with that wind tonight and even into tomorrow. But we are going to see the wind slowly dissipate as we go into tomorrow and into Saturday as well. So we'll see the wind become less of an issue. And then from a slick road standpoint, the wind certainly is creating some drifting of snow out there. So, you know, plows might clear a stretch of road and then the snow drifts back out onto the road. And, so there's some of that going on, at least in a few spots, at least in the East Metro. And, but yeah, otherwise it's not having a huge impact other than it just makes it feel a lot colder than it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
don't love personally, but
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and in terms of the snow that may likely come on Saturday night, is that
Yeah.
expected in the same areas where it snowed before? Are we expecting more snowfall in the metro area despite it probably melting pretty quickly? Or
Yeah, so the metro looks like we'll probably, it's looking more likely than not we're going to start off with at least some snow initially and then transition over to more of a rain snow mix. The if you're in the hills or especially towards the Cascade foothills, they'll snow levels aren't going to come up a lot, so they're more likely to just stay snow longer. So if you live up towards Corbett or out towards Sandy or up into the foothills above Camas or Washougal, those areas all will probably keep snow longer and could see more major accumulations down on the valley floor. It's not out of the question that we could see, a couple inches of snow, but the odds of it are looking like it's like a 10 to 20% chance, uh, you know, which is sort of what it was looking like a day or two ahead of this last event. And we saw how that turned out. So it's not saying that, yeah, that there is still quite a bit of uncertainty with the Saturday night system.
sure. And is that kind of a similar situation? I guess, can you explain in your best um, lay people meteorology terms how we can get from an estimate of 1 inch to suddenly looking out the window and having 4 inches? Like, I don't think people
Right.
understand that a lot of models come in and you have to look at the totality of the information and that kind of stuff.
Right. So yeah, we've got over 100 weather models sort of at our disposal to look at. There are certainly some that are better than others, but in reality, they sort of you can start to see the likelihood of an event happening. If every single model is different, then that's when you're going to hear us communicate. There's a lot of uncertainty, or they're giving you a whole lot of different options. In cases of, like the February 21 ice storm that we had here in the metro, that was what case where actually a surprising number of the models were actually in relatively good agreement. So going into that event, we can say with a lot more confidence what is going to happen and actually have that come to fruition. In a case like this, most of the time, an event like this probably wouldn't happen given the sort of the way the model output was trending. But we had that sort of lower probability event end up sort of coming to fruition, and unfortunately, it caught most of us off guard in a sense, and we saw sort of what happened with traffic and all of that, and it was pretty reminiscent of what we saw in January of 2017, where we saw a lot of snow. It came in the afternoon commute, and people are stranded on the road and abandoning cars, and yeah, it it's a bad time for it to snow.
Yeah, I mean, yes, absolutely. There are people
Yeah.
stuck out on the roads for like, I don't know, 8 hours, 15 hours, crazy
Y-
amounts of time. Just
yeah.
yeah, it seemed to have caught a lot of not just meteorologists, but also like public officials off guard as well. And
Right.
this kind of stuff happens. You can't ask Mother Nature to not snow.
Y-
Um,
yeah.
which is, whatever. Looking forward,
Yeah.
into next week, are we looking at more moderate temperatures, or are we all gonna be frozen still?
Yeah, well, we're going to see temperatures moderate some. So I think we're going to see a continuation of the melting that we have now, Sunday into early next week. I will say that we are going into another pattern where it's not going to be as cold as this one after it, but it is a pattern where, similar to this event, a low pressure is going to be coming down, and where that low goes very much determines who has a shot of snow and who's just going to sort of stay a rain snow mix, or at least like the foothills get snow, but then the valley stays rain. And in a pattern like this, we don't have a lot of confidence in saying 5 days, 6 days out where that low pressure is going to go, and exactly where it's going to end up. And as we saw with this last event, just it going and ending up 10, 20 miles further east or south can make a world of difference on where a band of snow sets up, and who that impacts. So just know that it's not a 0% chance that we could end up getting a snowstorm next week, but I also don't want people to freak out, and just know that there is that risk. It's a low probability. It's looking like less than 10% chance, but it's not out of the question either. So,
Yeah, and for people to
and that,
look at oh, go ahead, I'm so sorry.
yeah, so that's just sort of so people are aware. So yeah, hopefully we aren't caught off guard in that sense. And yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And if some people in the comment section of the Facebook are asking like about specifically in their area, you can follow the Northwest or the National Weather Service Portland on all your social medias. You can find the Facebook page while you're here on Facebook to check out to see what's going on as well in your area. So because we don't have time to address everybody's area, um, but yeah, so it it's not looking at this particular moment for
yeah.
next week that anybody should be panicking, right?
No, I don't think panic it would be yeah, I don't think that's worth panicking, but I do think it's worth paying attention. And
Absolutely.
yeah, that a lot of the winter we don't really you can get by without really paying that much attention to the weather here. It's going to generally be wet, relatively mild. Uh, but that we do have these, a couple stretches of winter where we're in the running for snow, and that's basically what this, Saturday night, Sunday, and then potentially again early next week. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that that's it. How much can you
Okay.
talk about snow? Maybe a lot as a meteorologist, but
Yeah. We could probably
but
talk about it more than most people want to listen to it. So, yeah.
is there anything else people should know about the weather currently, about what's going to happen in the future, etc.? Did I miss anything?
Uh, I mean, the biggest thing is it probably will tonight and tomorrow night will be probably the two coldest nights of the year. If they're not, they're going to be very close to what we saw for a night or two earlier this winter. But we're in the running for the coldest nights of the year tonight and tomorrow night. So definitely make sure you've got your pipes uh, sealed up. You haven't turned on your water outside. Just being aware of that. And a lot of the county and city partners, they've got warming shelters for those that if you your power's gone out or something like that, there are warming shelters that are open through Multnomah County, and I'm pretty sure Washington County has the same. So definitely check with your county, city officials. And then for weather information, yeah, we're on social media. So Facebook and Twitter, NWS Portland, and our webpage, weather.gov, is where you can get our forecast.
Yeah, and if you're looking for the warming shelter information, we do have a story on OregonLive.com, and you can find that. It's also on our Facebook page. So thank you, Colby, so much for taking time to chat with us. I know you're
Yeah.
super busy because when the weather is wild, you know, you got stuff to
Yeah.
do. So I
Yeah.
do really appreciate it. And yeah, have a good day and stay warm.
Yeah. You too. Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Yep.
it.
Yep. Bye.